Welcome, precious people. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning from anywhere you're watching from. It's a delight to have you in today's stream again. And today I have an amazing, super amazing guest. She's a very busy person. I had to really find a way to just pull her in into today's session. So today with me we have Diana Mekubo. She's currently located in Kenya, and she's been taking virtual online language classes for a long time. The introduction. Everyone who is on this stream just recognize the fact that it's a big deal having Diana on this stream today, because I mean it took a lot for me to get her here. So let's just go straight to it, all right? I know excited to hear from you. So Diana, let's hear from you. So introduce yourself, just give us a bit of your background. Yeah, basically. So let's go.
Good morning, good people. Good afternoon and good evening. My name is Miss Diana Mekubo. I'm currently based in Kenya and I have been teaching Swahili for, I could say, 4 years now. And to be honest, it has been the best decision that I ever made. Turning to,
Mm.
having that passion for teaching Swahili has been my greatest achievements so far. So I can start with a little bit of my background. You people usually ask
Mm.
me, "Oh, how did you decide that you really want to become a teacher?" You know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was in class 5, and my English class, of course, and we were
Mhm.
learning about careers, and the teacher was, asking everyone to stand up and say who they'd want to become in future. And then just out of nowhere, I was the first one to answer. I said, "A teacher." And let me tell you, everyone laughed to say, "Oh, a teacher? Why would you want to become a teacher?" You know? But what's so funny?
Right,
Um,
right. Yeah.
Later on in life, it happened that, oh, I am a teacher. And then reflecting back to um, what I said back then so many years ago, I can say
Mhm.
that maybe this is what I wanted to become, but I didn't realize because later on, as I continued in these
Mm.
other upper classes, I really wanted to study law, you know. But
Oh, I see.
yes, I wanted to study law, but here I am, a teacher. In fact, a language teacher, you know. But we
I
can say
can
that
imagine.
I started loving Swahili when I was in high school. We had a very
Mm.
good Kiswahili teacher, and we could always look forward to the Swahili lesson because, I mean, our classes were very interactive. And
Mm.
in high school, this is when now we get to read the set books, do analysis of all that all together. And let me tell you, we could always look forward to those classes. And let me tell you, we had given our Swahili teacher a nickname. We could call him Babu.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
What does Babu
yes. We
mean?
could. Babu means grandfather. You know.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yes, so he could come and then say Babu. The class would just chant Babu, Babu, because I mean the way he was explaining these concepts, and now that we were learning about set books, it was so nice. We were
Hmm.
all looking forward to a Swahili lesson, and luckily in Kenya,
Wow.
language mostly we have these subjects that must be taught every day, and
Uh,
Kiswahili is one of them. So you can imagine the consistency of, having to learn this language every day. So it sticks,
hmm.
you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. So the funny thing is that I actually even had this in mind to ask you that question as per, like, I mean, how did you? So let's take it a bit further now. So you said you've been doing language teaching for about 4 years. All right. So that's roughly around like 2023, if I'm not correct, if I'm right. Am I?
I
So
might even ask.
okay, no, no,
I
no, go
think
on. I
I
think you wanted to put a bit.
I think I might even have started earlier than that because I remember we had like we I started teaching while I was still in campus, but my last years of campus, that is
Okay.
in 2019. Yes,
Oh, you were teaching
and
Swahili when you're on campus as well, too.
yes, yes, yes. But yeah, I was doing it in a not a school, but it was a tuition
Oh,
center. Of course, this is where we do. We teach
mm,
after they have had their classes from their main school, something like that.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, so um, transitioning to now teaching Swahili online, before we begin to get into the details of, I mean, the children and all that, but transitioning to teaching, let's even say transitioning to teaching online. What was that experience like for you compared to that experience of, I mean, having the students in front of you and then you can gauge their interaction and all that? So you could speak extensively on that. Like, how are you able to, navigate that change? Of course, knowing fully well now that we are now in more of a social media economy and all that, and I mean, content creation economy. Yeah. So how are you able to navigate that?
Okay. First of all, this all started after COVID. That is
I
when
thought as
now.
much. I thought as much. COVID did
Yes.
a lot of things to everyone,
I
right?
did a lot of damages. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was actually after COVID, and now most of the kids will not go to that academic center to learn. But now I
Mm.
remember my boss at that particular time invested heavily on machines, on laptops, so
Oh,
that we can be. So for teachers, we could go actually to the center and teach from there because we had a very reliable network connection, power backup, and also we had these machines because I believe maybe some of us did not have them at that particular time, but the center provided all that so that learning and teaching can be very, very effective. So
oh, nice.
I can't lie. At first, it was, really hard. You are scheduled. Yes, you're scheduled to have a class with this particular learner. They disappear, let me tell you. Eh? Yes,
Okay.
some of them could, we had now to call parents and ask them, oh, so and so was supposed to join the class. Where is he or she? And then say, oh, I mean, he's outside playing. Let me remind him about his classes.
Oh
That is
my
how it used to
goodness.
be. Like we could, before they could really register it in their minds that they are supposed to be having classes, it was really,
Yeah.
really hard.
Oh
So
wow.
this was just a gamble game that they may join or may not join because in most cases they have forgotten. And this is not only from the children, also the parents. They may not remember that, oh, they had a class. When you call the parent, you go, oh, we left the house. Can we
Oh
reschedule?
wow.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
But now, as time went by, um, I think they started adapting to this. And
Mm.
here we are now, you know.
Awesome. 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 So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think I want to stay a bit on this question because of, I mean, someone that could maybe see a clip from this or maybe watch later on. There are people who are camera shy. They feel they are not good enough. They are not confident. They have all the reasons to just stay away from this thing that stares into your eyes, right? And watching people listen to you on the other side. I mean, so how are you able to so speak to the fact that if it was a scenario where you were already doing it, how were you able to master it? If it was a scenario where you were actually in the same scenario, so how were you able to navigate the entire thing? And of course, if you were not, then what advice would you give to, I mean, someone who is thinking of, transitioning to teaching online, basically?
I can say I've always been a confident person.
Nice. Of course, as a teacher, you definitely need that confidence.
Yes, I've always been a confident person. And
Mm,
being on camera, okay, I wasn't so sure how it was going to turn out. But remember, If you do it once, you do it the second time and the third time, you become a pro at it. You know.
Awesome.
So for those
Yeah.
who want to maybe start teaching online, it just takes one little step. Try it the
Mm,
first time, do it the second time, and I promise you, the third time, you are going to be a pro at it. Never
yeah.
shy off, you know?
Yeah. So, do you remember exactly what your first time was like? Do you remember that experience? Is this something you could, share with us? The first time you ever taught anybody online? I remember, let me put a bit of perspective to it because I used to teach piano classes. Should I say I used to? I still teach piano classes though once in a while. So, I remember the first time I ever taught someone was a lady in the UK. And of course, I knew how to play the piano well, but then that part of now transferring knowledge and not being able, there were even times when the student goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to turn on my video today." So you don't know whether they're paying attention, you don't know whether they're not paying attention. And then when you ask questions, they go, "Oh, I'm sorry, can you come over that to the break?" And you're like, "Whoa, I've been speaking all this while." And then, so yeah, basically, like, can you remember exactly? I remember my experience with her name is Grace. It was a huge lesson. Now having to restructure my mind to as though I am recording, not teach as though I need that attention to fuel my energy. Basically. So, but let's hear from you. So, do you remember your first time and how did it go?
Okay, I remember my first experience, and it was actually with Lana. Um she's Tatiana. She's actually in North Carolina, and it was my
Oh,
first time ever. I think that was my first online class ever, and that was
mm,
due to her having conversation with her mother, and then she really wanted to connect her kid, to our language heritage, you know, and
mm,
now it was at night because it was at night because time difference, and
mhm.
she came in with a lot of energy, because she was really eager to learn this language. And remember, I was like, oh, how is it going to be? Is it going to be, very fulfilling at the end of this, or am I going to leave this class feeling like, oh, what did I do? But yes, but the way she came in ready to learn and very energetic, I'm telling you, from that moment, that is when it clicked. Oh, we can do this, and
Come on.
she,
Yeah.
yes, yes, we
Yeah.
can do this. She's this one person who is really eager to learn. So it means that I also need to, the fear that I have should, go off, and let us just mingle, have
Vanish.
this
Yeah.
conversation, have this interactive session. And my goal was, learning a new language can be sometimes boring to children. And my goal at that particular moment was, I
Mm.
want to make sure that after this lesson is over, she's going to tell her to ask her mama, when is my next Swahili lesson? I want to learn with Miss Diana. You know, that is the best thing
Yeah.
that can never
Yeah.
happen to a teacher. When a child just
Yeah. Right.
comes in and say, I can't wait for our next session and all that, yo, those are fulfilling moments. So that experience,
Yeah.
or with that child, I think it's the one that shaped me, you know.
Awesome. Are you still by any chance in contact with her by any chance?
I met her. They came to Kenya last year, and we met. She's
Oh,
now
in
big, a
person.
teenager now. Yes. Yes. And she could actually remember, oh yeah, I remember you teaching me Swahili. And then she started
My
saying, habari
goodness.
yako mwalimu, you know.
Oh, wow.
And at least she remembered. She remembered that for you to even start a communication, to have a conversation, not a communication, to have a conversation with someone, you need to first greet
Mhm.
them. And that was very, very beautiful. It made me see, okay, so those late nights were not in vain, you know?
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yes.
Nice.
uh And now
Okay.
these conversations that we have with the parents before now we start having these classes, those conversations stayed with me for sure because I usually know that language is just more than words. You know, language is
Hmm.
our identity. Language is our belonging, and Busola, language is love.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, that part of connecting with someone because they know your language and all that. It's true that language is love. You said something suggested that I think I want us to explore, although maybe not too much of confidential information because I understand, parents also like that. I mean, conversations like that are confidential. So you said the conversation with one of the parents actually spoiled you, right? So, what was the conversation actually like? What was the conversation actually like?
Okay, first of all, this lady went to America like right now it can be like, is it 16 years? And all her children
16
are
years
born there.
ago.
Yes, all her children are
Oh,
born
wow.
there. Yes. And since all her children are born there, she said, um, I really need, I wanted to quote in Swahili, but let's continue in English. So, like, I really want my girl to start speaking Swahili or to connect with her roots, have an identity,
Hmm,
you know. And then she was telling
hmm,
me that whenever they are talking back at home, uh, calling back home, they usually, of course,
mhm.
the grandmama and grandpa is there, but they usually converse in English. But she was telling me that it would be better if they could speak in Swahili. And I know, as far as, yes, my parents do understand English, but I also want my kids to benefit from it. Seeing them having a conversation with my parents in
Right.
our native language or in Swahili warms her heart because she tries it.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She also tries to
Mm,
communicate with them, but it has not been effective enough. So that is why she really
mm,
needed a reinforcement from someone from outside.
I see. So her major concern was that she really wanted to see that connection between her own child and her mom,
Yes,
basically.
and that is
Yeah.
because they were looking forward to traveling back to Kenya for a visit. And at least they never wanted them to feel like, they're left out, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing with children, the moment whatever you're doing doesn't interest them, you just lose them. And I think I remember one particular time as well too with a particular child because I, this is also one of the reasons because in one of my streams, I also emphasized how important, um, the important role that language plays in ensuring that, you know, your child feels like really does feel like a member of the family. Because that's one thing, the child, even when the child feels like align they can align with everything in the house emotionally. Once they feel that there is one part of disconnect, for some reason that one part feels more important to them than even all of the other part. So I think it's just imperative, like you said, I mean, that every parent should actually look at this. Thank you so much for sharing that experience. Okay, so I
All right.
wanted to also ask, did you really, I mean, did you study Swahili in school, or like you're like a native, or maybe just run us through your educational background as well too, for the sake of, I mean, others who are watching.
Okay, so Swahili is my second language.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so I think I learned Swahili just through growing up, you know?
Hmm.
And also in school, in primary school, high school, and then in campus, I majored in it. So I did a bachelor's in education art.
Oh,
Yes, and my combination is Kiswahili and
okay.
history, but I tend to incline mostly on Kiswahili, on the language.
Why is that? Why did you choose that?
You know, I just realized that language grows every day. You know,
Language grows every day. Was that what you said?
yes, language grows every day.
Uh, hmm. Hmm.
No, you're not convinced, no?
I'm following.
Are
Actually,
you
I'm
convinced?
following
Are you
you.
sold?
I'm following you. I'm
No, you
following you.
seem like
Actually,
you are not sold. That. Uh-huh.
no, no, no. I think
Yes,
I think
and
I was hoping to hear your perspective when you say languages. How do you do it again? Language grow.
yes, every single day. And we use language to communicate, no?
Okay.
So,
Yeah, of course, of course.
looking at how Swahili is expanding, in East Africa and now Africa, and now I can see that other universities, outside Africa are really trying to make sure that um, before students graduate from their university, they have to do one of the African languages or as an elective so that they graduate. And then I said, this is indeed an
Oh, okay.
opportunity. Yes, and this one started back in 2021. Yeah.
I
Um,
see.
I'm actually a member of, we call it in Swahili, we call it Chaukidu. Chaukidu is a chama cha Kiswahili duniani. Yeah, a global Swahili, it's like can I call it an organization? How can I call it?
Uh,
I'm looking for it, but
okay.
I can't get it. So I'm a member
All right.
of that, and we usually
Okay.
have conferences every year. And every year, remember this is globally. So every
Mm-hmm.
year we could meet in different countries for to talk about emerging topics about Swahili, to see how Swahili is improving and how it is growing, challenges that are facing this particular language, and what do we need to do in order to grow and maintain this language. So when I joined that particular, I had a professor. She's
Okay.
actually she was no, not a guest. She was a university guest. Do I call it? Not a guest. She applied. I went to St. Lawrence University to go and teach
Okay.
there for a year,
I
and she
see.
was going to teach Kiswahili there. And
Mm.
during that period, she taught me back in Kenyatta University, and she told me, "Oh, Diana, I can see the passion that you have in language. How about you also try and apply for these opportunities so that you can at least even come here, because we have so many opportunities when it comes to language, because Swahili is indeed growing, and most of these universities have started embracing it, and I see that there is something for you out here." And then
Oh.
she started sending me this link to apply and all that. And then she told me, now I think for you to even stand a chance in a university, how about you take part in this conference that is coming up? And apparently
Oh.
that was after COVID. That was 2021. And remember, still we had like the travel bans. People could not travel
Yeah.
to the countries
Yeah.
yet. So
Yeah.
that conference was to take place online. So I prepared my concept paper, and I was really ready to present. And I was looking, whatever I was talking about is, the mistakes, learners make when they are
Okay.
learning, this second language. Or
Mm.
I'm trying to see how I can put it in English because I know it in Swahili. Like
You could say it in Swahili. I mean, say it
challenge.
in Swahili. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Makosa ambayo wanafunzi wanafanya wakati wanajifunza lugha yao ya pili, ama or we can
Oh,
say,
wow.
yes, athari ya lugha ya mama kwa kusema lugha ya Kiswahili. Or it is I'm trying to, but if I remember, I'm going to say it. But now, mostly it
No
was the
problem.
problems that learners usually have when they're learning Swahili as their second language. And I'm talking about how they are affected, with their mother tongue. I
Hmm.
highlighted all those. challenges that you have there. And then let me tell you, something happened during my presentation. No, we were doing it using Zoom. My presentation, I found a side chat, and I wondered, oh, and
Okay.
that was my first time using Zoom. And then I'm wondering, okay, who is this texting me or sending me a private chat? So
Okay.
when I opened it, I found that it was one of the professors, and the professor is actually
Oh.
teaching in Howard University in Washington D.C. And then she told me, I would like to have a conversation with you after this conference. Please send me your number." And then I attached my number there. And when the conference
Hmm.
ended, he sent me he called me, and then he was saying that he told me that I can see you have passion for Swahili, and I want to engage you for something. And then she told me that he wants me to be a conversation partner. And conversation partner is they had this summer program, we can say,
Okay.
rather
What
than
is
a
summer?
summer. Hmm?
Okay, it's summer program. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
Yes,
following. I'm
summer
following.
program. Yes. So, initially before COVID, they used to like visit Kenya and go to the East African
Hmm.
coast, because essentially that is where language began, you
East
know.
Africa. I see.
Yes. Yeah. So
Hmm.
they could go and see where how it started from, learn Swahili, learn the Swahili culture, eat Swahili food, wear Swahili clothes, They wear
Yeah.
kanzu, dera, buibui. And
Interesting.
use the lasso on their waist and all that. So but because of the travel bans, they couldn't come. That's why they made it to be online. So that particular time, that month of learning or being a conversation or having conversation with these students, it became an eye
Hmm.
opener. Okay, I'm telling you this because I want to drive to where made me to really really why Swahili. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in a month of us learning together, laughing together, I thought that I think I'm starting to you know get my passion. I'm starting now to, see what I really want to do. And then I said, how about now I really master in this?
Hmm.
So from there, that is when I decided, oh, I can actually go apply for my master's degree and learn African studies. Where African studies, this is when I would have many languages. We have Swahili, we have Arabic, we have Yoruba, we have Igbo, we have Zulu, we have what other? Yeah, I think we have many. Yes. So
Yeah, many
I
actually.
applied in the
Many.
same,
Many.
yes, many. So I applied in the same university and I got in. So what I'm trying to say is that
Oh, wow.
the passion grew through seeing that, oh, so I can really be really good at this. I can
Hmm.
really help people, be in a position of understanding and also speaking. And then I said, ooh, then this is it. So that is why I'm here with Swahili.
Awesome. I mean, that's an awesome experience. Wow. So,
Mhm.
I mean, as you were speaking, it really just dawned on me that it's inevitable. I mean, from all of these experiences that you've had, it's inevitable that you will not eventually become confident because now you've had someone international reached out to you on
Mhm.
something that they saw you do. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's totally amazing. It's really amazing.
Mhm.
If you're joining us for the first time, I'm speaking with Miss Diana Mekubo. She's a language instructor with Tayari Live. Very amazing conversation we've been having since we started. So please kindly leave a comment section where you're joining. And I also want to know what local languages can you speak? You can leave us in the comment section and would drop you a hi as well too. Okay, so I mean that being said, so I have some questions here that I feel some of our audience may be very interested in. Now, I'll start with this one. This one
Mhm.
says, When parents first realize their children are losing touch with heritage, there's often a wave of guilt or panic from the parents, right? Just like we're talking about the woman who wanted a child, to always have a conversation with our own parent. So it says, from your experience, what is the biggest misconception diaspora parents have about their ability to teach their kids the language at home? Let me take the question again. From your experience, what is the biggest misconception that diaspora parents have about their own ability to teach their kids the language at home?
One of the biggest misconception is that they think to themselves like, I was not even able to communicate and talk my own native language for a very long time, or I'm not even
Mm,
able to like understand everything. And now they feel like that if I didn't, my child also cannot. So that is one of the misconceptions that they have. But what I want to
mm,
tell you is that you can learn your native language, or yes, you can learn your native language at any level in life. But of course, learning early is easy, because this is where children will tend to
careful.
understand everything. Thank you. So this is where children will tend to understand and learn this language very fast. But you can start small.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not a must that you really become perfect. If you know, if this is it, if you understand greetings, use these greetings. I mean, let's start from there. Yeah, before we
Yeah,
move into something even bigger. You know,
more complex. Yeah.
you don't need to be perfect, but are you teaching that little thing that you know? Okay,
Mm,
so
yeah,
that the misconception they have that it is late, we cannot help these children, but it's never too late. It's
it's never
never
too
too late
late.
to start. Yes,
Yeah,
you
it's
can
never too late.
learn the
Awesome,
language at any level.
awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
I had a guest, I think last week, Maven, and he said something very important. He said
Mhm.
that the best way for the child to actually learn the language is for you to use it. Language that is not used, there's no
Mm.
point. And I mean, I can't forget that statement that he mentioned since last week. So, yeah, I think it's true. I think it's true. There's always that fear of, I think I'm very good at it. So, there's no need more in the language in the name of wanting my child to know and all of that. So, yeah. So, okay. Thank you for answering that question. So, my next
But
question
I
is
have a
this:
question now for
in your
you.
work,
I have a
oh,
I have a
okay, you have a
question for
question
you
for me.
before
Okay.
you ask. Yes. Before you ask me, before you ask me the one you want. Now, I
Okay,
know
yeah.
you have a, I know you have a child.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah,
Have
yeah, I
you
do.
taken a step of have you taken a step of wanting him to learn your native language?
Well, yes, actually. So for me, I mean, just like you rightly said, right? Because even my mother-in-law, right, she always insists that the fundamental things in the house, I mean, things that are very tangible, like the chair, the mop stick, the broom, the TV, the lingua, because I speak Yoruba. So she always insists that make sure that you use the local languages. Allow the school handle the responsibility of letting him know how to speak English while you handle the responsibility of, the local language at home. So as much as possible. So for an example, if we're home, um, and we're getting ready, okay, I mean, dude, um, instead of saying bring your chair, I say stuff like bagaiwa. So bagaiwa means bring your chair. Aga is
Uh-huh.
chair in Yoruba. So
Mm,
I tell him bagaiwa. So then he. So at first there's that hesitation at first, and then you have to complement what you have said with the English. So you say bagaiwa, bring your chair. So when I say that, maybe subsequent times, it's even gotten to a point when I want to get him to wake up from sleep, I don't need to tap him. I just say
uh-huh.
stuff like dide, dide. So dide means stand up. So I just keep saying, Dide. And then he knows already that, okay, dad wants me to stand up. And then that's it. So there's been that deliberate effort. Again, I'm not much of a, because the way Yoruba works is Yoruba, it has numerous variants. So let me see if I
Mm-hmm.
can break it down. So there is the Yoruba tribe in Nigeria,
Okay.
and then there is a geographical location where most Yoruba people come from. So they are called we are called Southwesterners, right? Because most Yoruba people are in the southwest of Nigeria. But you see, in that southwest, you then have what you call or your Yoruba. So in Southwest, you have different states, right? There are different states. And for each of those states have their own variants of Yoruba. That's number one.
Oh.
Now, in each state, the tribes in each state have their own other variant of Yoruba. Now, once you now get to each each of the individual tribes, well, we don't use the word tribes here specifically. We use the word local government, right? So in
You
each
use
local
what? Local
government,
government or local
local
government?
government, yes. So we have
Okay.
the federal government, we have the state government,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have the local government, right? So that means in a state, you then have some pockets of cities like that that makes up the local government of the state. No, mix up the towns in the state. You now have smaller units in that are called locals. So for an example, you can have maybe Ondo State, that's the state. You have a local government called you have Ondo State, then you have maybe Akure. Then in Akure, you will now have a local government that is called maybe Akure North or Akure South.
Okay.
So each of those local governments themselves will now have different variants of Yoruba. So I said that because I was trying to establish the fact that I can't really say that like I'm an indigenous Yoruba speaker, right? But of course I try my best. The generic one that everybody around the country understands at least, because I think
Uh-huh.
I remember that maybe was saying that it was simply for Swahili that there are about
He
52
was
tribes. It wasn't that there are about 52 tribes if I'm correct about that. That
about?
there are about 52 tribes. I said
Yeah,
my
we haven't
last
done.
guess. Yeah, it was said that there were that even the Swahili language, as much as it is the unifying factor in the still other variants of that, that same Swahili. So I think, and really for me, although that's not really the point, the major crux of our conversation today, but I think that's actually something that we need to look into because it's only in Africa that the African language has other variants of that same African language. But if you go to
True.
other sides of the world, you don't have. I don't think they have. I'm not sure, but I don't think they have variants of German language. I don't think they have variants of Arabic. I don't think there are other variants of. It's just what everybody speaks on the entire country. But that's on the other side. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, I deliberately make sure that my because I personally don't want my children to just know only how to speak English and English and English alone. There are many, particularly if you're in this part of the world, the benefits are too numerous because
Yeah, sure, for sure.
um, people are very tribalistic. When I say tribalistic, I mean there are times when if there's an opportunity and then there's someone who is my tribe and someone who's not my tribe, before I will consider not to give the person that is not my tribe, I will really confirm that they're not intelligent enough or good enough for the position. But ideally, if everything sits right with respect to qualification, with the person from your tribe and all that here, the opportunity will most likely slide towards it without even giving the other person any consideration at all. So it has a lot. Honestly speaking, but I don't want us to delve into those conversations today, basically. So, but yeah, I don't know if that answers the question though.
Yeah, 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 yes, it does answer. Thank you so much for what you are doing. It is indeed a good thing to,
Yeah.
as much as they will not speak right away, it's something that grows
Mhm.
gradually in them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yes.
so to my next question now. My next question says, in your work as I mean teaching Swahili, how do you define the difference between a child just understanding the language when spoken, when spoken to, versus having the confidence to actually speak? Let me go over the question again. So, how do you differentiate a child that they understand the language when spoken to, and then versus a child that can actually speak back? How do you differentiation?
Okay, I'll explain this way. We have, two different stages of language development. You know, we have
Hmm.
understanding a language and using the language itself. Yeah.
Hmm.
And they are all related, but they're not the same, to be honest.
I
Understanding
see.
the language and using the language. Now, a child who understands the language has developed what is called, receptive language, because this child really understands. This
Hmm.
child can follow instruction just like the way you are doing with your son. You know, he understands the
Hmm.
language and he follows the instruction, like the way you said. I've forgotten what to say, but I know I can remember in English where you say that he knows that
Bring your
it is.
chair.
Yeah, bring your chair, wake up and all that. Now this shows that they are able to recognize, familiar words, understand maybe stories, understand conversations that are taking there, even if they do not, communicate as much. Now, for
Hmm.
example, I can also say one in Swahili. I tell a child, leta hicho kikombe, which means like bring that cup, and they
Hmm.
go and like bring the cup. It shows that they have understood and they are
The
following
language.
instruction, and yes, and they're
Hmm.
bringing. So this one doesn't mean that they have completely failed. No, they have done what you asked them. It's just that now they cannot speak. But now here we talk about now speaking part. Speaking, on the other hand, this one is we can categorize it as, we say that this is what we call expressive language. This is when now a child feels confident enough to, want to express themselves in that particular language, even try to use one or two words, or express ideas, or even tell a story, or even take part in a conversation, you know yes. So I feel like during those stages in life, not in life, in language learning, we should just, uh, let them be, because indeed confidence is very huge, is a huge part in language learning.
Differentiation.
Yes, it is
Nice.
very, 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 yes. We
Nice.
say that children can actually, experience those particular stages, and then when they are confident enough to speak out, they will.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah,
Okay. All right. Great. I think from what I can draw from what you're saying, it really just has to do with um sort of like being patient with a child. But then primarily with respect to the question, so how you differentiate is that confidence, basically,
yes,
right?
yes, yes. The confidence, yeah.
That confidence, basically. So I wanted to ask this question because you said two very important things about the differentiation between understanding the language and then being able to use it. So in
Yeah.
your work, like,
Mm.
are there systematic things, more like a framework that you use to take, diaspora kids from that understanding stage to that and actually are there specific things that you do?
um at first, what I do first is making sure that actually they're feeling very safe in this, in their learning spaces, because if they're not safe, if they feel like if they say something wrongly, I am other children are going to laugh at them, or maybe I might laugh. So making sure that first they have a safe space, and if they have a safe space, it means that they are going to start expressing themselves. So, like, as soon as they would want to talk because they know that this is a free space where nobody is going to judge them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So anyway,
Okay.
another thing, if you introduce something like incentives in class, don't you think that one is going to make it want?
That has
Hmm?
always worked from time immemorial.
Yeah, who doesn't want a present?
Right.
Hmm?
So
So
what
they
incentives
want.
do you use?
Hmm?
What
We
incentives do
have
you use?
we have stars, stars and recognition. Now imagine this, stars and recognition. So imagine um, a child answers a question in class, or this child try to speak some, or say something in Swahili, and then I say, oh, very good Jabari, oh, vizuri sana Jabari. The child will say, oh, she knows me, she knows me, she called my name today. I mean, every child would want to,
Yeah,
be very fast and answer the
that
question because they want
experience.
recognition from the teacher.
Yeah,
You know? Yes,
yeah,
they want
yeah.
recognition from
Right.
the teacher and easy. So another thing that I think I used to do long time ago, but I think I should also implement it.
Hmm.
When we started our classes, I could tell the learners to like mostly this is like a class of five, not one particular child, but when we have like
Okay.
class of five children, yeah. And if they usually come to class every day, you know, you could
Hmm.
I usually tell them to choose a Swahili name, As much as you,
Oh,
Abusola, I'll tell you, like, choose one of the Swahili name that you would want us to call you in our class. And you'll find that in most cases, the way they would write it on, you know,
okay.
mm, yeah, whenever they'll come into class, instead of it reading their name, it will read that name that they want to be called in the Swahili class. It
Yeah,
becomes,
that's fine. Yeah.
yes, the Swahili name. So, for example, I can say, if I love numbers much, I'll say that I want to be called Tatu. Tatu means three. Yeah. Mhm. Yes, tattoo means three. So another one will come and say she wants to be called Pendo. Pendo is love. I mean, that one.
Mm.
Like I usually want to make sure that they are really looking forward to these sessions because of what we are doing, and through that, they'd want to start speaking very fast, having that real confidence in speaking because I'm making my class to be a real safe space for them
Yeah, makes
where
sense.
they are allowed to make mistakes,
Makes a lot of
where
sense.
they're
I feel
allowed,
that STEM thing.
where now
Go
they're
on, please.
allowed to
Go
make
on, go
mistakes.
on.
A safe space where they are allowed to make mistakes, and we are not correcting them
Hmm.
with, no, you should have said this and this. No, just you know, a smooth transitioning.
Smooth ride. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. That's really nice. I mean, I know that reward system has always worked for anything.
Sure,
Although
it has.
maybe except for programming because I program a little bit and sometimes
Okay.
things can really get very difficult. So yeah, but I think it's true. It's something that every educator must always
For sure.
teaching. Something that is core, to how you. Okay, so let's switch gears now, right? I want to talk about you know preserving heritage and then empowering identity now. So um so for children, for a child growing up in a completely different country, right? Language can sometimes honestly feel like a chore or an history lesson, right? Just maybe or mathematics lesson. So how do you shift it from being a subject to study to a living and breathing part of their daily life? Like how do you handle that switch from it feeling like I remember that there are subjects when I was in primary school or secondary school when I heard the name of the subject the energy that communicated to me, goodness, you know. So how do you help that? You know, let me use the exact choice of words in the question. So how do you shift from a subject to study? How do you help them to shift from a subject to study to something that they are living and breathing as a part of their everyday life?
Yeah. You
So
know,
I want to quickly shift something in my camera, but I think you can just quickly speak with the audience. It shouldn't take me so much of time. Just a quick switch, but you can answer the question while you're speaking with the audience.
okay, okay, okay. So, children don't usually like fall in love with language because they are used in memorizing, vocabulary list. No, they usually fall in love with, with it because it helps them connect with, real people, and it will also help them connect to the people that they love. Now, for example, let's put this one, this practical, you know. So, for example, imagine a child who can greet their grandmother or their grandparents in Swahili. You hear them, or you hear her laughing with joy, with the grandmama. Also, imagine this, a child who visits Kenya and they can be in a position of ordering food, talking to friends, making friends with their cousins, and also being in a position to uh, converse with everyone around them. You know, suddenly Swahili, becomes very fun, or this particular language becomes very fun for them. Yeah, and they feel like, this is something that we're really used to. So, what I want to say is that parents to literally like celebrate, or yeah, celebrate, the language. I want to put it this way: to celebrate any progress that the children are making, and how I do it so that they don't feel like this is just like another chore that they are meant to be, another boring thing that
Yeah.
they are meant to be. We make sure that the class is very, very interactive, and it is interactive with, games and songs. So if we learn a little bit of vocabularies, we shift it to singing and dancing and doing some activities and reinforcing those vocabularies that we have learned, in a fun
Yeah.
way that will not make, I mean, why are we writing so much today? Or why are we having to study this much today? Okay. And then we also have like an online activity, an online activity. Let's
Yeah.
say like they are playing a game on word wall. We have word wall where we have a game, an online activity that they do there. Let's say, for example, we are learning about colors, and then in that activity, you find that you're told to pop some particular colors there. So, and these colors
Mm.
are literally written in Swahili. So it will be very interesting for this child to continue to do this activity, because they would want to win. Definitely, children want to win, right? Yeah. They all want
Yeah.
to win. So they make sure that they have mastered these colors so that they can be in a position of doing well in that online activity. So making it fun. Make sure you make it fun. Make sure you don't make it boring. Make sure it doesn't look like any other school subject, but something
Yeah.
fun. Yes, something
Mm.
fun that they can always look forward to.
I like that part where you said make sure it doesn't look like any school subject, because even the idea of school sometimes can be very stressful for the brain, you know.
Yes, yes. Mhm.
Yeah,
No,
basically. So
uh,
that's
you
you
know,
want to add a little bit?
like I'm saying, they cannot be learning the whole day at school and then later on in the evening they're also learning. They need something that would really, shift their mood, you
Excites
know?
them. Give them a
Yes.
spark.
Mhm. Something that will give them a spark. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. So let me move to the next question. So the next question says, have you noticed a shift in a child's overall self-esteem or confidence once they begin to master or even just proudly claim their heritage language? Let me ask the question again. Have you noticed a shift in a child's overall self-esteem or confidence once they begin to even just proudly claim their their language heritage.
Yes, I have seen that. You know, when I started teaching this child, she was literally a complete beginner. And
Mhm.
at first, the confidence may not have been up there, you know. We said actually,
Mhm.
this is learning a language is a gradual process, you know. So as we
Yeah.
continued learning, she was, she could not entirely speak. She could maybe answer me back in English, because she was not confident enough to now to start to say the word in Swahili, but could answer, in English, which is also not bad because I know
Mhm.
it is something that will grow in her, and she will be in a position.
Gradually.
Yes, gradually, and she'll be in a position of now separating the two and answer with the language that she's supposed to be
Mm.
answering. So as time went by, confidence grew, and she could now answer
Mm.
in Swahili. So you could
Mm.
see how happy she is. Like, oh, I spoke today in class. You know,
Yeah.
I
Right.
spoke to in class. And now, what I would like, encourage, what I used to encourage her mother was to tell her that, yeah, I know, you should be there when we are learning, off camera,
The
but you
parents.
are there. Yes, definitely. They will
Oh, I
not
see.
just the child just learning without any, not.
Supervision.
Yes, yes, yes. They'll not be seen in camera, but they'll be maybe seated aside there, hearing everything and the conversation that takes place between the teacher and the child. So I would
Yeah.
always encourage her, tell her that after the lesson, just try to have a conversation with her, or ask her, "Oh, how did you learn today in Swahili lesson?" Yeah.
Okay.
Children
Okay.
like being teachers, let me tell you. They'll want to shine. I
Ah,
know, today Miss Diana taught me this and this. Did you know that? I mean, if he or she comes and tell you what they learned in class, tell me, will it not
yeah.
stick? It will definitely,
Yeah, it
right?
will. It will.
Yeah, it will
Yeah, it will.
definitely, stick because it is them who later came on and started teaching you. So that is
Yeah.
also a way
Yeah,
of
right.
boosting their self-esteem,
Boosting their
boosting
confidence.
their
Yeah. Yeah.
confidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So telling the
Yeah.
parents that it's not only left for the teacher, but also try to help in, you know, development of the self, confidence and boosting the self-esteem as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's such a great response to that question. And I think to a very large extent, um, nothing boosts confidence than knowing that you just taught someone something. Teaching is powerful, really. It's very powerful because even for me, because I'm a software engineer and of course I do some other things too. And then when I have the privilege of helping people bridge gaps in their knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they are kind enough to let me say, "Oh, you know what? I didn't know you said it." Just it's way it boosts my confidence. Like, oh wow! I mean, if there is one of you, there can be 10, there can be 100 or 200. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that part of actually letting their parents, um, telling the parents to ask the kid to teach them what they have learned is really good, really good. Thank you so much for that, Diana. Thank you.
Yeah, well.
So let's move now to I think this is really like one of crux of the which is digital teaching language online. So
Mm-hmm.
traditional so my question traditional learning language passed down face to face by grandparents and community and elders, right? What are the unique advantages of using modern digital tools to bridge that massive geography gap, right? I think at this point you can also speak to Tayari the lights,
Sorry?
walk people through. I said I did it. I said you
Uh-huh.
can also, I mean, speak to Live as well to the platform. So
All
of course,
right.
once you answer generally, you can speak to that as well. So Yeah, let's hear you.
Okay, so I know traditionally, language was passed from what face to face, you know. But right now,
Hmm.
imagine now a child who is born in Australia, born in the US, born in Canada. Those are so many miles away from Kenya, you know. But now these
Yeah.
online platforms, the online platforms, they are trying to bring language at home, you know, no
Yeah.
matter where
Yeah.
these families are actually living. Yeah, because
Yeah.
using these online platforms, you can actually get a Swahili teacher. You can actually get me from Tayari.live.
Right?
Yes. Now, where now we tend to see that now this geographical barrier that is here is no longer there like it is had, because one thing, you will always get this teacher, you know
Mm.
you always get this teacher, and it allows you now to connect and learn. And remember, this one will also bring consistency, because do you know why I'm
Yeah.
saying will also bring consistency? Even if you have your parents back at home and you say that they'll be learning when we come home, how often do you come home?
Good
Maybe once
question.
a year or once in 2 years, you know. But now,
Mm.
because of these online platforms that we have here, it builds consistency. And remember, with language, when you are consistent in learning, the better, you know.
Yeah. That's good.
Because
I clocked
you'll
that.
always be, yes, you'll always be getting this a child, and you'll
Mm.
always be getting this parent when or you'll always be getting the teacher when you want to study. So technology has really allowed, you know these language or languages around the world to really thrive.
Come home.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. I also
Yes,
want you
yes.
to speak to something very important, which is because as much as I want this, one of the reasons why I also brought you on was because I was hoping people who are also, trying to transition to teaching whatever they are doing, pass down any body of knowledge online, can gain that confidence basically. So I also want you to speak to the numerous opportunity that teaching online has given to many skillful people who are far away from their audiences. You get what I just said.
You may repeat your question.
So let's say for an example, what's the name of the young lady you said the lady who was your first student?
Tatiana.
So for example,
Tatiana.
Tatiana would not have been able to enjoy your ability to teach Swahili if it was not for the modern technology. So, as
Yeah,
much
sure.
as it bridges the gap for Tatiana, it also presented you with an opportunity that you may probably had, the rigors of having to maybe go teach in a. Of course, I'm not saying teaching in a regular, school or a class one on one is bad and all that, but I'm saying you should speak to the opportunity that comes with for talented people like yourself who can speak the language very well. And of course, I can imagine the level of what's it called? The financial benefit as well too. Having to teach someone who is abroad and then while you are here. So just speak to that part of the opportunity that it also brings for you as a teacher as well too.
So teaching online has so many benefits, and one of them, you don't have to go to leave your house. You teach it at the comfort of your house. See, you get to pocket everything without traveling.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is one of the advantages of teaching online, and these opportunities. And then something else that I would like to encourage us is that let us invest in these things. Invest as a teacher if you want to get into this, and look like, and not look like a professional, but you're a profession. Invest in a good lighting, a good mic. I can see you have a very good mic there. Yes, and things that are, and also your background. Mine, I know is not good, but you'd want to be seen out there as, someone who is really a professional. And to be honest, prepare visual aids. Prepare things that when the
Yeah,
children are seeing are going to be, oh wow, I like that. Oh, wow. Children learn by seeing. Hmm?
yeah, yeah.
Learn by seeing. So let's say, for example, teaching about maybe fruits, and I display there a mango, an orange.
Mm-hmm.
So that one will stick into their mind, and they'll
Mm.
know that this is what teacher said, this is what it is. So visual aid, good network connection, good lighting, and all that, and I know eventually, or this you'll grow to become really good at what you do.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Diana. Thank you. There are many talented people that I think I know,
Mhm.
and they keep waiting for their audience or the people who need these things to come to them. And again, just like you have said, um, with the internet, the entire globe has become a village, right?
Yes.
It has
Hmm.
really become a village. So it's just really about you, just like she said, you know. It's not that because gadgets are not extremely cheap. I mean, for this
I'm
session,
not a budget.
I was sharing with someone that I had to invest in some gadgets to make sure that this stream is
Hmm.
actually way better for people's consumption and all that. So
Sure.
yeah, but they sure that you are getting closer to the opportunities that you felt you needed to have a CV for and then look for around and all that. But yeah,
Yes.
basically
And
that's it.
when
Thank you. And I think
I wanted to
go
say,
on,
when that
please.
opportunity comes, let it find you ready. You know,
I
when the
like that.
opportunity, when the opportunity presents itself, be ready for it.
Be ready. Be very ready. Thank you so much for
Mm,
that. Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Um, Let me touch on the next question. Okay, I think you touched on this already though, but let's see. Okay, you already. I was going to ask. Okay, how do we ensure that online language learning stays human, warm, interactive, rather than passive? But I think you already answered that question already. So let me just move to the other one.
Okay.
Um, okay, I think this one too. You already been answered it because the question was when designing and choosing an online learning experience for a child, what are the key elements to make it stick for them? Maybe you should re-emphasize this. I know you said it tangentially when you were answering one of the questions. I think you can
Mm,
probably re-answer, just itemize each of those things so that for someone who probably wants to take a note of some of those things. So the question is when designing or choosing an online learning experience for a child,
mhm,
what are the key elements that makes it sticky for them? What makes a child
mm.
actually want to come back?
As I mentioned earlier, call them in
Yeah.
class. Make sure that you
Okay.
call them in class. Let them know that they are seen. That is one
Mm,
thing. If a child knows that, oh, she mentioned me today. She saw me there today and mentioned my name. That is one thing you should do. And then for them to really, really stick whatever vocabulary that you're teaching them to really stick in their mind, as we said,
mhm,
use songs, use stories that relate to those particular vocabularies that they are learning, as well as
mm,
those activities. Like, oh, in Tayari, Tayari.live, where I do my online classes, we try to make it as interactive as possible, because
mm.
we start off by asking the mood of a child, telling them to put how they are feeling in a jar. We usually have like a feelings jar, where
Feelings jar. That's interesting.
yes, we have a feelings chat where we tell them now, just type how you're feeling. Like, um, um, it is just a board where a child who is joining can also be in a position of, get writing, and then just shifting it and putting it in a jar. You know.
Yeah.
and see how different kids are feeling at that particular time, you know? And that is making them being involved, you know?
Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah.
then we start off by learning, diving into the lesson by doing an icebreaker, you know? Mostly we may do,
Icebreakers. Okay.
yes, icebreakers, yes. We say, bring me, show me, da 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 da, you know, whatever thing that you want them to bring. And
Oh
mostly it can be,
yeah,
yes,
yeah. I played that.
yes, you wanted to say something
Show
like,
me. Yeah.
bring me,
I
show
said
me.
I
Let's
played
say, for
that
example,
game
you're talking
once.
about,
Bring me, show me.
yes. So let's say that you want to, you that particular day you're learning about, you know, household items. You know, bring me, show me a spoon. Bring me, show me a cup. You know, you are involved in them. They're not just sitting there bored and just looking at you teach the class. No, they are being involved. And then after that, having a very short story, definitely not a long one, but a short story. And in this story, use what you call, you know, cycling. You know, when you ask them a
Cycling.
question, yes, yes, you ask them a question, and then you have said it, but you want them to, you know, say. For example, I say, Jabari ni mvulana. And that means Jabari is a boy. Yeah. Jabari ni mvulana. And then I ask, Jabari ni nani? You know, who is Jabari? And then, you know, they'll answer, Jabari ni mvulana. I mean, they have already understood like this vocabulary is mvulana and mvulana is a boy. They already know that. Easy, no? But it can be anyway. So and then with that, making them involved in you know, this storytelling session, you know, not you just
Yeah.
the story all through, making them to be involved in it. And then after that, definitely singing and dancing. And we always mention that our songs have things that they are doing. For example, there's this one that we have for colors. Yeah, we have for colors. We have nyakundu, nyakundu, and then clap your hands. You know, you know that it's
Yeah.
when it is nyakundu, nyakundu is red. Clap your hands. When it is whatever, jump so high. You know, do a twirl and all that. I mean, that one we are learning, but we are learning in a fun way, right?
Yeah.
Learning,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
fun way.
In a
And then
fun way.
after that, yes, we have an online activity. And then from an online activity, you know, just a close up. Tell me why you wouldn't want to come back to my class tomorrow.
You're very confident about that.
Yes, because, you know, we are playing, but also learning, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. So you talked about you know, uh music. You talked about uh,
Stories.
call their names in class and stories. And I think for everything that you have said right now, it's very important that they all should be visual aids, like you said. You said
Mm-hmm.
that potentially before, and I think that's also one of the reasons why I brought the question up again. So yeah, so if you're watching, I mean, you have it in mind to teach. Those are some tips from an expert in the field. I think you want to apply that so you could get the results of your own. Okay, so I think this would be like the penultimate question before I share one or two facts that I would just want your opinion. Really. So this would be the question. So the question says, uh, okay, it says that for a busy diaspora household parents, right? Okay, let me take that again. For a busy diaspora household where parents are working full time and English or the local language dominates the day, what is, well, I'm asking for what is one micro habit a family can start tonight to introduce the heritage language? So if you have more than good, but shut all over again.
No, 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 no. It's all good.
Okay, great. So let's have you answer that
Yes.
then.
Introduce a tradition tonight. Okay. Let's say, for
Okay.
example, you want to start, you know, that language heritage journey. and you work full time, you have little time. Choose one time in the day, or
Mm,
yeah, be it breakfast, lunch, or dinner, where you feel like you always sit together with your children. You know, so if you already identify that particular time of the day where you all sit together, maybe have a meal or something, so that is the time now you'll create a tradition. And that is where now you say, if it is breakfast, you can decide to make breakfast to the kids, you know. and
mm, I see.
and while you are doing this, they are there, and then imagine now, here cooking, and then I'm telling my child, nilete kikombe, and then you tell them kikombe is a cup.
Ah,
Definitely bring. Or apart from cooking together, when you're having meals together, let's say the only the only time you meet is during meal time, you can mention that the meal that you're eating today, labda hii ni viazi, these are potatoes,
ah,
viazi, and then mboga, vegetables, you know,
okay.
wali, which is cooked rice. I mean, in that particular time you get to be with them, introduce a tradition, and in that tradition make sure that you are trying to teach that little that in your language. And I believe it's going to make a difference. And if you become consistent in this, remember, consistency is key, and through consistency, this
Yeah.
is where now they get to learn, and they'll know that, oh, today we are cooking with mother. Uh-huh. And we are going to learn this and this. So it's going to stick, and they're going to learn this language. And do you know it's not going to be something that is forced? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Since it's done at meal time and not like sit down, I want to teach you. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It's something that is going to stick because it is not forced. It's something that they are literally like learning
Mm,
what they love doing. No, so it becomes so
nice.
easy.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like that one would really, really help. So
Okay.
parents, let's
I want to also
introduce a
add this
tradition.
question. Yeah. So yeah, introduce the tradition, right? Very important. So as an addition to that, I want you to speak to the role that the music culture of the family also plays. The music culture of the family. I mean, what kind of music the family listens to and all that. What role does that also play in in creating an habit or something? Do you think that that also works?
Yeah, it does. It does work. Let's say that maybe while you are cooking, you also play some of the Swahili songs, commonly known Swahili songs. You know, so as much as you'll be dancing to the tune and all that, some words are going to come out strongly, and maybe they may tend
Yeah.
to ask you, what does he or she mean when she says this, and they're saying that this is what they mean, and maybe you tell them that, oh, maybe this song was sung during this and this period. So
Mm.
different traditions have different songs that were sung at
Style of
particular time.
music.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
also tell them that this was maybe sung during a harvest period, and this what they were saying. So you know that, oh, so during harvest period, this is what we do. So in Swahili, we also have different kinds of songs.
I can imagine with 52
Yes, we
tribes.
have. No, no, no. Swahili itself. In Swahili, uh, um, we have one of them that I remember. We have Bimbelezi. Bimbelezi, this is a song that is used to, to, can I say, to soothe someone, which
Oh,
can
like
also
an
be,
eology.
no, 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 a lullaby. No, can I call it a lullaby really? Oh, I don't know. Uh,
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying because we have things like that too in Yoruba where it's like uh it's we call it oriki in Yoruba, like something you say to suit someone, like Like you're praising the person. Is that the correct thing?
No, how can I put it in
Okay,
English
okay.
so that you.
Then I think that is different then.
But anyway, yes, we have songs that were sung during work time. We have songs that were sung or should be sung during a circumcision period. We have songs that
Oh,
um, yes,
for different occasions.
for different occasions. Maybe when you play that, you'll tell them, "Oh, this was sung at this particular time," or "This is what it is doing." So that one
Yeah.
also makes them know their culture. Know that
Yeah.
indeed in our tradition, this is what they do at this particular moment, and this and this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
songs
Yeah.
do play a very, very big role. As much as they are learning these words, they're also learning why was it sung or when is it sung.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. Thank you so much for speaking to that. Because I know that myself, so growing up, one of the things that made it very easy to know our language was that my mother used to play local songs a lot. We rarely had English music played in the house, and it really contributed. And of course, I would also, I think, as a contribution as well too. I think the child, if the child ends at like their church, religious gathering, or something where songs like that are also raised, I think it will also contribute as well to basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that even reminds me. I remember now because in my dialogue with Maven, he was saying, he deliberately ensures that when he's going out, um, he will he will speak to the police in Swahili, and then they will reply. you know he deliberately does that so that the kids can hear that the interaction in the local language has community value, and of course nobody wants to be left out in the community basically. So yeah, thank
Sure.
you so much for that. Thank you.
No.
Okay, this question says, how can parents effectively partner with online educators or platform? What should the role of the parents be outside the virtual classroom to reinforce what the child is got already? So you said a
Yeah,
lot of things
I spoke about.
extensively about that. So if a family has children of different ages, say a toddler and a preteen, how can they use digital resources or home strategies to engage both without one feeling left out or bored? Is that something you want to speak to? Two different age groups. They have a toddler and a preteen. How can they use digital resources to ensure that both of them are engaged? One is not left out, and the other. I don't know. Is that
Yeah,
something
what
you've
I
had
can.
experience with before?
I've not had experience before, but there is one of the parent that we are yet to connect, and she has like four kids, and she wants them to separately have these classes. So I know these kids, you'll just let them learn separately because of the different understanding that they both have, you know. So the preteen
Yeah,
might understand very fast and know what it means, but I told her it might take time for them to understand.
yeah, cool. My final question: What do you think is? What do you think? How do I ask this question? I was going to ask like, how much is too much to invest into making sure that your child, learns a local language? How much would you say is too much?
I don't think there's too much, to be
Right,
honest. Yeah.
right.
This is something you use in your
Yeah,
day-to-day communication. So how can it be too much? It's like you telling me that
yeah.
speaking is. Anyway, no, let me not talk about it. But
No amount is too much. Yeah, I understand basically. Honestly, I understand. I understand. No amount is too much to ensure that the
yes.
child is learning. Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much, Diana, for today. The final thing I want us to do before I let you go is this, just be me my online. audience, but you are. So just bear with me very quick. I want to get your opinion on this. So it's coming up soon now. In five, four, three, two, one.
Yeah, it's up.
Boom. Okay. Because I was just bear with me. As you can see, it's trying to load up. So okay, just bear with me. It's trying to load up now. I'm almost there. Okay, yeah, this is the one exactly because I shared something on this during one of my live sessions, and there were some reactions, and you know, so I just wanted to hear your opinion about it. So this, because this is a researched fact actually. So it says if a child is only exposed to English at school, they will shift away from their heritage language within just 1 to 3 years. The risk skyrockets in smaller communities or mixed heritage families. So what I really want you to speak to, I know you've said something about this, but just confirming that age bracket thing, that age bracket between 1 to 3 years old, you know, if a child is only exposed to English at school, they will shift away from their heritage language within just 1 to 3 years.
So you asking to know whether that is indeed true?
Yeah, yeah, of course. You are the expert, so I mean, you could let us know if that is something that's accurate or not. Of course, I know this because this is from Wong Fillmore, 1991. It's a 1991 research, and all that. But again, you have, so I wanted to hear from you about it.
They may actually lose it, but I mean, there is a way you can prevent it. You know, if
Mm,
you have a rule in your house where you say that you have spoken English in school throughout the day, how about you try to communicate in Swahili? Not only even telling them that you as a parent being practical about it, literally
yeah,
like speaking the language when you are at home. So I'm believing that it might not be lost entirely. They may not forget, you know, uh, their language if that is done. But if you don't keep on practicing and talking, eventually it will be lost. But as parents, we need to be really upfront when we want our children to have a belonging, to know their roots and all that, making sure that it is really, really maintained throughout the years, because that is the best gift that you can give your children. Remember, your
yeah.
children will also, that is a gift that they can also give their children, because they'll say that, oh, this is where my grandmama, or this is where my mother, yes, this is the language here, my grandparents,
Language heritage.
this is
Yeah.
their roots, and I am proud to be one of them. So I believe that it is a gift that you can give your kids to continue, with, the generations to come. So we might not lose it entirely if we really, really also encourage talking and, speaking it at home.
All right.
So
Please help me
what
celebrate. Okay, I think you still have something to say. You could go on, go on, go on. If you have something to say, I think my audience would still like to hear from you.
No, I do not have any other thing to say. So wait, do you think
Okay.
that isn't true if you continue speaking at home even after the studies have said so that after 1 to 3 years they are going to forget and lose their cultural heritage?
Well, where I think it is true is really a matter of interest. Um, the average human does not like to feel like a beginner on anything.
Mm.
It takes having a child a I don't know, it takes having a learner's mentality. And the truth is that for the average young person, once they know that they are a master at something that is giving them validation and they don't want to
Mm-hmm.
shift to anything that will, pull that down for them. All right. So I understand the whole idea of, if there are rituals that ensure that the language is consistently spoken at home, definitely you will not lose the language, right?
Uh-huh.
I understand that that is true because, um, but I also think that because think about it, their entertainment options are in English. Even the baby cartoons that they watch is in English. The movies, the Marvel movies, the love
Mm.
movies, the high school musicals, and all of those things. My apologies for
True.
mentioning brands on this, right? So those things are in English. So I was talking to and I think I want to ask you to what you think. I was asking Maven during our session. I said, think about it. Think about physics in Swahili.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. Think about
Mm-hmm.
biology in Swahili.
Mm-hmm.
That average village person can learn, and there's no language barrier. Think of engineering in Swahili. It means
Mm-hmm.
that the people in the village have an opportunity. They don't have to just settle for farming or settle for what
Sure.
is local to the immediate environment. All right. So
Mm.
so I think really where the risk really lies, and I think that's where I agree with the fact, is that within that frame, if there's no immediate action. And of course, all this everything that we have said from inception, all right, that if the immediate action to see to it that there is that wanted frequency of speaking the local language in the house, chances are very high that the child will no longer be interested anymore, basically. But then that's just on the side, basically. So thank you so much. I mean, it's been so insightful having you on this session. I mean, gleaning
Thank you
from
so
your
much.
experience. I think I'm still going to make sure that I bring you in one more time. This is the longest stream I think since I started,
Me too.
this stream. So I think I'm still
Okay.
going to bring you in at some point, to share some insight. I have some more questions here, but I think for the sake of those that would want to rewatch this later, I would not want the timeline to be too cumbersome for them to catch up with all of the
Sure.
invaluable things that we have said. So, thank you tuning in today. Please help me celebrate Diana Mekubo one more time. All right, thank you so much. So, yeah, so we've come to the end of today's stream, and my name is Busola, and I've hosted you in you know teaching and learning Swahili online, basically. So, we're going to be signing out now, and then I'll see you on Monday on our shower for our fact sharing session. So, take care. Bye.
Bye.